Hello everyone, I'm Tens from Tens Academy. Today we're going to be doing something different. I am making an order, recording it for a client. Her name is Adri. She wanted a range containing moringa. So we're starting with the face foam wash, and we're going to go through everything that we require. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. So let's start. The first thing that we need to look at is what is it that you need to make this product. So one, we would need a solution that we're going to use for cleaning. The benches, all the equipment here have already been sanitized, so I don't have to be cleaning them at all. So as I said, we would need the solution to clean our products. We will also need a pH meter. We will need an empty jar so that we can rinse the pH meter with. We need distilled water. We need a lowering buffer, a raising buffer. I will explain this when we get to it. We also need pipettes and a silicone spatula. What is important is to have a notebook, because whatever that we're going to do, we're going to record it in this book so that we always know what we've done to do this formulation. Obviously, you need a pen. Now, for us to be able to make this product, I am going to be using a homogenizer, so I won't be stirring anything. Everything will be done this side. So this is a 300 ml glass beaker. We will also need a packaging bottle for the foam wash. Remember, the foam wash is liquid, so for it to have foam, you need packaging that has got mechanism to foam. Okay, so this is very important for your product to make some foam. What else have I forgotten? You need some paper towel. This is just to make sure that if anything spills, you can clean your area and make sure that it is clean at all times. Now let's talk about the ingredients that we're going to use for this formulation. So I'm not going to give out the measurements for the formulation, because this is a product that I sell and this is someone else's customized product. So I'm just going to show you how we make this foam wash for Adri. First is your distilled water. This is what forms the base of the product. So it's the highest percentage in terms of the formulation. Just decided to put in some floral water. So this is rose water to have a nice fragrance, because we're not going to add any synthetic fragrance in this formulation. We also have aloe vera powder times 200. So when I'm making the product, I will explain what these products do or what are the benefits on these products. We have glycerin. We have polysorbate 20. We have moringa oil. We have AOS. It's called alpha olefin sulfonate. We also have cocoa betaine. The two that I've just mentioned are all surfactants. And then obviously our last ingredient is your liquid Gemal Plus, which becomes our preservative. So I think now we are ready to start making our products. So how do we start? The first thing is determine how many phases do we have in this formulation. And here everything is water soluble, except obviously the moringa oil, which we're going to use polysorbate as a solubilizer. So it's a one-phase formulation. It doesn't take time. There's no heating here. All we just have to do is add one ingredient at a time, and then from there we've got our product. Now, when we make the product, it is important that you add one ingredient after the other so that you get a nicely mixed product, and also so that you make sure that everything is going step by step. What is it that you need to consider or to note when you make this product is that we've got two surfactants, and surfactants foam, they make bubbles. So you don't want your product to have a lot of bubbles. Therefore, you would rather add them right at the end, and make sure that your agitation or your mixing is nicely done so that you don't introduce bubbles into this formulation. But if you do introduce bubbles in this formulation, not to worry, you just have to put it overnight so that the bubbles settle, and then the next day you will find a nice pure product or clear product for yourself. All right, let's start. So we're gonna start with our distilled water. And I'm going to pour the distilled water into the beaker. As I mentioned, it's already cleaned. So I'll pour all the water in. And after pouring the water, I'm going to start the homogenizer. So I have set it at 500 RPM at 1 minute 30 seconds. If we run out of time, we'll just reset it again. But note that when we add the surfactants, I'm going to reduce the RPM so that we don't have a lot of bubbles forming. So I'm going to start the homogenizer. Okay, there it is. It's starting to mix. The next ingredient that I'm going to add is your rose water. Okay, so we've added our rose water. It feels like it's too high for me. I'm seeing a lot of bubbles. I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to leave it at 400. All right, I think this will be much better in terms of introducing bubbles, and it will be much lighter. So we've added our 2 ingredients. Now we're going to add aloe vera powder 200 times. This product is for soothing. It also helps in moisturizing and helps in acne and wrinkles. So a beautiful product to add to your formulation. It's very important that when you've added your aloe vera powder, you wait a little bit for it to dissolve completely in the water. So you would see that the water is turned a little bit milky. Just checking there, it looks like it has fully dissolved, and we can continue with what we need to do. The next product is your glycerin. It is a humectant, and it is used to hydrate the skin. So most people find that glycerin is a little bit tacky, and they would rather use other surfactants. So you can choose other surfactants like your propylene glycol, your 1,3-propanediol. Those are very light humectants that you can add. So I am going to use my spatula so that I can get all the product out of the beaker into the mixing beaker. I love glycerin, except that it's sticky. I really love it. It's a well-known product. It's cost-effective, and it does the work that it's meant to do, except the tackiness. But other than that, this product has got a lot of distilled water. Therefore, I don't expect it to have a lot of stickiness to it. All right, so we have added the soluble products, the easier ones to mix, and you can see that it's a fairly easy process from the last 4 ingredients that we have put in there. So the next product that we're going to add is your polysorbate 20. It is a solubilizer, and the reason why we're adding this ingredient is because we are adding moringa oil. So you would ask me, why did you choose moringa oil and not an extract? Because I want a little bit of moisturization for this formulation. Yes, it is for people that have got acne, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the benefits of moringa oil. So for us For the moringa oil to dissolve into water, we need a solubilizer, and we're going to use polysorbate 20. So I'm going to add my polysorbate 20 into the mixture and then talk about moringa oil. Okay, make sure that you try and get most of the product from your beaker so that not much is left in there. Okay, so while that is mixing, let's talk about the star ingredient of this formulation. So what does moringa oil do? What are the benefits of moringa oil? One, it's preventing acne breakout. You'll ask me why, because it's got oil. But the amount that we are introducing into the formulation is really low. It's not going to have an excess in terms of a person that has got an oily skin. What we also going to, what it also helps in is removing the blemishes, the dark marks, and the pimples and blackheads. You know, when a person has got an oily skin, they suffer a lot from acne breakouts. Those acne breakouts, when they get resolved, there's dark marks there, so it's going to help with that. But also congestion in terms of blackheads, it also helps with this. So this product is for acne-prone people, and it's a product that is going to really assist in managing your acne. So we're going to add it into the formulation so that we can move on to the next ingredient. So I'm going to add a little at a time. I love polysorbate. Water and oil does not mix, but voila, you can see that it has mixed very well. Color is changed to the light green. And as I said, we're not messing up with the natural aspect of the product. We're going to keep it at that level. So now that we've added our moringa oil, we're going to now add our surfactants. So this is our AOS. AOS, as I mentioned, the full name is alpha allophane sulfonate. And this is a beautiful surfactant. It's an anionic surfactant, and it does a great job in cleansing. And it's not harsh, it's very mild, and it has a great lather as well. So I love using this ingredient, but I also love pairing it with cocoa betaine. That's what we call it. This one we call AOS because really we don't have the time to be mentioning the whole name. So AOS is how we refer to it. And this one is also a surfactant, cocoa betaine. It's an amphoteric surfactants, and what it does is it's got an ability to cleanse the skin. It foams and it also lathers. But the nice thing is that the two together, they give a beautiful, wonderful lathering and foaming effect, and that is not harsh at all. So in my products where I am using either we're doing a body wash, I always use your cocoa betaine, and I will pair it with another surfactant. But in this case, for face, I always love pairing it with AOS. So these are the two ingredients that I'm now going to introduce into our formulation. So I am going to reduce the RPM on the homogenizer so that we don't introduce a lot of bubble. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at 300. I think it should be fine. So I'm gonna add little at a time, slowly. Okay. Then the next one is your cocoa beetle. All right, so almost done now. You can see it's a very simple formulation to make, but what is not simple is coming up with the whole formulation together. So now we have to add our preservative. It is Gemal Liquid Plus. Its pH range is between 3 and 8. So it means that when we look at our final formulation, we need to make sure that the pH is between 3 and 8 so that the preservative will work. If the preservative is not going to work, it means that your product is going to grow some nasties, some mold, bacteria, fungi, or some yeast. So we're trying to prevent that from happening by adding the liquid Gemal Plus. Also remember that liquid Gemal Plus in other formulation, it is a cool down phase product. But at this point, we don't have to worry because we have not heat anything. But if we had a formulation where we were going to heat it, we're going to wait at least to below 35 degrees Celsius before we add the liquid Gemal Plus. So I'm going to introduce it to our formulation. It's our last product. While I'm busy here with liquid Gemal Plus, have you subscribed? Please, if you have not, do so because there are going to be more formulations. Most of the orders that we get, we're going to feature them onto this channel just to show you guys how we make our products. All right, so you can see already there's some bubbles that have formed at the top, but not to worry. They are very minimal. They're gonna go away in a few seconds. So now that we've got our product done, all the ingredients are in, the last step that we need to do is pH, to do the pH to see if it's sitting at the right range. So our final pH needs to be between 4 and 4.5. So I'm going to stop the homogenizer. I'm going to take out the beaker, put it in front of me, and we're going to do the pH testing right now. Okay, as I said, I need distilled water for rinsing. I also need a pH meter. This pH meter is calibrated every Monday so that it gives us accurate reading. It is not that expensive, but I find that this one is very reliable. So if you can get this one, I don't know what model it is, but I got it from Take A Lot. You can go and get it yourself. Okay. So the first thing is that we'll open the pH meter. It's got an electrode underneath, and that's what's going to measure the pH. So I'm going to rinse the pH meter. I'm going to switch it on. After switching it on, I'm going to put it into our formulation and wait until it stabilizes. So this is the time when I start taking my measurements. Okay, so it's saying that the pH is sitting at 5.96, right? And as I said, our pH needs to be between 4 and 4.5. So what is it that we need to do now? So when you do get to this stage and you find that your pH is not in a desirable range, please don't panic, because all you need to do is to adjust the pH to the right pH. Okay, so as I mentioned, we've got the raising buffer, and how I make my raising buffer is 10% sodium hydroxide and 90% distilled water, and these buffers are made each week. All right, and the lowering buffer, I also make myself. It is 50% citric acid and 50% distilled water. And as I said, we make each stock every week. Now, we have already identified that our pH is sitting higher than what we need. So therefore, we need a buffer that is going to lower the pH so that we get to the desirable pH. And that we will use our lowering buffer. Okay, I'm going to use the pipette. Take a little bit, not too many drops, just a few drops, and then make sure that you mix everything. Mix, 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 mix. Okay, to incorporate everything. And then we try again. All right, it hasn't gone down that much by adding 2 drops. It went down to about 5.83. So I'm gonna add a couple of more drops so that we can get it going a little bit faster. Hopefully I didn't add too much and then I have to add the raisin buffer, okay? All right, it has gone down significantly with a few drops. We are now at 5.29, so we still need to go down a bit. Don't be in a hurry, just relax and take it slow. Because if you get it too low, now you have to now add the buffering, the raising buffer. So don't be in a hurry at all. You know, beautiful things take time. Have you subscribed? I'm just checking because really this is not something you want to miss in the future. Okay, and we're still not there. I mean, yeah. Because of this video, I'm doing it a bit slow so that you guys can capture, you know, the gist of it. Otherwise, I would have done this. I would have done 5 minutes done. So for me, it takes very little effort. Okay, so now we need to add a little bit. We had 4.89. Remember, we said 4 to 4.5. Okay. Ooh, I think that was a bit too much. After just telling you to be careful, then oh, this one I'm a bit. Let's pray. Okay, I didn't go down that much. I mean, what's going on? Just go down, man. Okay, 4.71. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Guys, no cheating, eh? Don't cheat. It's not worth it. Oh, it switched off. Doesn't matter. Ha, we are almost there now. Sitting at about 4.54. So I am pretty happy. We are sitting at 4.53 as our final pH. So I've recorded it there. And we're all good in terms of our pH. All right, 4.52 there, very, very close. I could have added maybe a couple of more drops, but I'm comfortable at this place and 4.52. All right, so you clean it, take some paper, you just wipe on the outside, don't touch the electrode, okay? Then we put it aside. Then let's get everything out of here, okay? Okay, doesn't want to close. Now, there is our 2-liter foam wash. But for it to foam, obviously it's not going to foam like this. It needs some assistance. We need this kind of a bottle. It's called a foaming bottle. So you would need to buy one that has got this type of a mechanism. Okay. See, when you press, some foam is going to come up from here. So now let's do the test. Let's see if really this formulation is going to work. All right. It smells nice. Remember we added that, what do we call? Oops, I filled it too much. Okay. All right, now the test, you know. This is the time where you tell yourself, there we go. There. Look at that. Look at that foam. Isn't that beautiful? So just look at that foam. You can see it's nice and thick. It does not deflate. And there we go. There is our foam wash. And then if I can just do that, it is nice, it's mild, it's not harsh. I can feel it through that scarf. Okay, I can't feel it because of the gloves, but it's really mild. You can see it's not losing the lather, and you don't have to use really a lot. You have to use very little, which means that this 50 ml would last you quite a while. So there you go, guys. Next time, we're going to be making another product a bit different from this one. So we're going to take it a step at a time. So as I mentioned, please do subscribe. We want to grow the channel so that I can bring you more content. We're going to be reviewing products as well going forward. You know, I'm bringing in new products in South Africa. I'm going to talk about how they are used and how they benefit us as formulators. And if you're a formulator and you're like me, you would know that you get really boggled down in terms of the new ingredients that are coming in and how to use them and how you can improve your formulation. So as I mentioned, we made the moringa foaming face wash, and this was an order from Adri. So from here, we're going to package it for her, and then we're going to send it. So guys, from Tens, goodbye. You can see that foam is still there. Okay, done.